Oh, well, good morning everybody. I think I need a song to wake me up a little bit more. What do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, well, what song should we sing? What about Shine? I think that's what I could use. Oh, are you going to help us with the actions too at home? I think we know this song quite well. Right, come on, stand here. We're gonna shine from the inside out. The world will see you live in me. We're gonna shine from the inside out. So the world will see you live in me. You know me, you love me, you feel me, so send me.
Good morning, boys and girls. It's old John here. I hope you're well, and I hope you had a really good Christmas. Do you know, when I say that, it makes me really sad, because we spend so long, don't we, preparing for Christmas, putting the decorations up, putting the tree up, putting the lights on it, writing out cards, buying food, thinking of games that we can play with our friends and our family. And then all of a sudden, after just one day, it's gone. And we think, oh, I was looking forward to that, and it's gone very quickly. And you know, some people, the day after Christmas, they start packing away their Christmas stuff. They take down their decorations, they take down the tree, they unplug the lights, put them into boxes, pack it all away for next Christmas. And for the stuff that you don't keep, all that rubbish that you don't need, it all goes in to your waste bins, ready for the new year rubbish collection. And you know, when I was thinking about that, I thought, hey, we could have a really good game around what's in your rubbish bin. So, the game that I thought of was, I have taken 6 things out of our waste bins, our rubbish bins, and put them into a small bag. And the idea is that you've got to guess what I've got, what those 6 things are. Now, just to help you, remember, this is rubbish that's there after Christmas has come. So that might tell you about some of the things that might be in the rubbish bin. The other thing to say is that there's no dirty, mucky bits of food in there, gravy or a bit of old turkey or a lump of custard and a little bit of Christmas pudding. There's nothing like that. Everything in the bag is dry. Most of it can be put in the recycling bin. Maybe not all of it though. So you've got to guess what 6 items I've got in my bag. And so stop the video now, get a pen and paper, and think of 6 things that you think might be in my bag. And I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so First item out of my bag. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a big one. Oh, wow. Chocolate biscuits. I love chocolate biscuits, don't you? And I wish I could say that I'd only had 1 or 2 of these. Actually, I think I had a few more. But they were lovely. So yeah, no food, but boxes in which food comes. That's 1. Number 2. Oh, there's another thing to do with food. Can you see that? It's a little foil cup in which you put a little cake. Do you know which cake would have been in here? Do you know those little pies that we have at Christmas? Yeah, that's right. It had a mince pie in it, but obviously it's been eaten. Might have been me, maybe not. So that's number 2, a foil cup for a mince pie. Number 3, yeah, I think you'll have a lot of this in your rubbish bins as well. It's wrapping paper. Did you have lots of Christmas presents? If you did, I suppose you'll have lots of wrapping paper. Or maybe it depends on the size of your presents. But anyway, yeah, I'm sure there'll be lots of that in your bins. And you know, some of this can be recycled, some of it can't. And I'm not sure about this, to be honest, so I probably need to check before I put it in the bin. What else have we got? Oh, already, look, going in the bin. A Christmas card. The baby Jesus on it. Wow, doesn't take long, does it? Lovely card, sent by somebody to say Happy Christmas and best wishes for the new year. And it's gone in my bin. Now that's definitely recyclable. What else have I got here? Oh. Ah. It's a cracker, isn't it? Which has been pulled. Let me just check. Yeah, the snapper's broken, so it did make a bang. Oh. There's something still in it. Do you have these? I always think that a Christmas hat makes somebody look very sensible. What do you think? Do I look sensible? No. I'll take it off, shall I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So number 6 is the last one. Oh yes. Can you see these? Now these were in the bin by mistake. They were put in the bin, but they weren't meant to be. So it's a good job I'd gone looking for some items in the bin, wasn't it really? This one, can you see, is like a little crib. And the baby Jesus, that's just his head sticking up there. This is a little set that we use at home to remember Christmas. And this is Mary, who's kneeling down looking at Jesus. Now, they should not have gone in the bin, should they? So, do you remember before Christmas, we learnt a song which had some actions in it? Katie showed it to us, and she had some help from Millie and from Lucy. And it was a song in which we use that word for Jesus at Christmas, a long word called Emmanuel, which means, if you remember, God with us. And the actions in the song helped us to see that. It was God with us. God with us. But when Christmas Day is over, we can feel like God isn't with us anymore. It's like we've kind of packed him up in a box and put him away till next year. But just because it isn't Christmas Day every day, it doesn't mean to say that God isn't always with us now and every day in the future. God is always with us, and he speaks to us and he helps us in lots of different ways. Let's hear about some people in the Bible who God spoke to and who knew that God was with them always. In the Bible, there are lots of times when we read about God being with people. God was with people and spoke to them in lots of different ways. He spoke to Moses through a burning bush. He spoke to Elijah by sending a wind, and then an earthquake, and then a fire, and then a whisper before he spoke to him. And he spoke to Mary and Elizabeth through the angel Gabriel. Abraham was told by God to take his family and move to another place which God would lead him to. Now, that wouldn't have been easy to do, would it? God said that Abraham would be the father of a great nation. He meant that Abraham's family would grow and grow. His children would grow up and have children, and they would grow up and have children, and this would keep happening. That's quite a promise to make. One day, whilst Abraham was travelling, God spoke to him through a vision. That's a bit like having a dream. In the vision, Abraham was standing outside looking up at the stars shining in the night sky. He heard God saying that his family would have as many people in it as the number of stars in the sky that he could see. Now this really helped Abraham trust God and know that his promise would come true, which it did, by the way. Abraham's family became the Israelites. Ruth lived in Moab. She had married one of Naomi's sons, but sadly, both Naomi's and Ruth's husbands had died. Naomi was going to go back to Judah, where her family came from. Even though she had told Ruth that it would be better for her to stay in Moab, Ruth had a strong feeling that she should go with Naomi, even though she would be leaving the land where she was born. Naomi was old and would need someone to help her. Both Naomi and Ruth believed in God and trusted that he would be with them and make sure they would have what they needed. God chose a man named Boaz to meet Ruth, and he helped her and Naomi. Ruth married Boaz and had a baby boy called Obed, and Naomi helped Ruth to look after him. Jesus had died on the cross, but 3 days later he was raised to life by God. Mary and Mary Magdalene were the first to see Jesus alive again. Then some of the disciples saw him. Jesus told them that they should tell all his followers to go to Galilee, and he would meet them there. So they travelled to Galilee and went to the place that Jesus had spoken of. When they saw Jesus, the disciples were so happy, and they crowded around him to listen to him. Jesus said that he wanted them to go out into all the places of the world and to tell the people they met about God and help them to follow him. Before Jesus went back to heaven, he promised the disciples that he would always be with them. Wow, what a promise. Jesus said, I will be with you always. But you know, that promise wasn't just for the first disciples. It's a promise for everyone who follows Jesus. That's you and me. Now here's something that you could make that might help you to remember that Jesus is with you always, and especially all the way through 2021. You could make a calendar for 2021. There are lots of different kinds of calendars you can make. This is just one example. Ask an adult to help you find one you'd like to make on the internet. For this type, you can use coloured card and paper, or you could use some card from an old cereal packet, and when you've cut it to the shape you want, you could cover it with wrapping paper or paint it. Whichever type of calendar you decide to make sure you have this verse on it to remind you that Jesus is with you always.